course. In this course, we're going to be learning about HTML and how it works. This is the first course of our website development pathway, and we're going to be learning the rest later. So what is HTML? So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it means it's a markup language. In another word, HTML is used to describe how pages render in the browser. So, for example, if we visit this website, TechCrunch, we see a lot of different HTML elements here. So we have header, we have image, we have this little icon here, we have more text, we have paragraphs, we have little time. Everything you can see on this document is rendered using HTML. If you go on YouTube, it's kind of the same. The thumbnail, the picture of thumbnail, the time, the title, the little verification code, the logo, everything you see here, the little live things, the little dot things, everything you see right here is rendered using HTML. So to build a successful website, you need to know three things. Or to build actually any website, first of all, you need to know HTML. Now this is the structure of the document. CSS is for styling and JavaScript is for dynamic. For example, right here, see how that changes from the time to the little message. That is JavaScript and HTML working together. So here is a little example. In here we have a paragraph, right? It just says this is a paragraph, and we render that text right there. And then we color it using CSS. We're gonna learn a little bit of CSS in this course, and then we will have a whole course dedicated just to CSS. And then we don't have any JavaScript here. So basically, since this is just a files, to edit HTML file, you're gonna need a software. If you're using Windows, you can just use Notepad++, but I like to use this code editor here. It's called Visual Studio Code. It's from Microsoft. It's for free, and it's really, really good. And you can download it in all the platforms. So let's create our first HTML document. So right now I opened it. I'm in the desktop. So I'm gonna create, let's just call it website. So all I have here is a file called website. Now, if I double click the file, I get basically a text file that just says random text in there. Now, this is a generic file, but we don't need a generic file. We need HTML document, HTML file. So to do that, we just need to add this HTML. Right now we have a HTML. So if we double click now we open using the browser. So once we double click it, the iOS recognizes it's HTML, and it open it with the default browser, which happens to be Chrome in this case. But as you may have guessed, you don't write random stuff. Now, there are certain syntax, HTML syntax, that you need to follow whenever you want to write a code as HTML code. And basically it comes down to this, right? So it comes down to this right here. This one is called tags. So opening tag and closing tag. Whenever you open a tag, you have to close the tag 99% of the time. So let's actually create this. So right now, HTML. So this is how you start a HTML document. So basically we have the tag I was talking about. Just ignore this for the moment. And inside the tag we have HTML, and we just close HTML with this little / before. Now iDocType, this basically says just use the latest version of HTML. HTML has been around since '93, so this one just makes it so we use the latest HTML. So basically right now we have the beginning of HTML document. If we double click it, now we just have a white page. We don't have anything in there. Now there are two main things that, so all the code we're gonna write goes inside here, inside the HTML tags. There are two things that go here. Number one is head, and basically head and body. So a head and body go here, and this. So basically we have this little kind of subcomponents. We have head. So inside head is anything associated with the document. So the title of the document, if you have a logo, if your document is linked to another document, everything goes in there. The actual content you're gonna see on the page goes in here inside the body, and that's all we need to worry about now. So now actually we have still empty file because we don't have anything. This is just kind of the architecture, this is the foundational code. Now if you look at here, for example, the title of our tab, our web page right here, is just the default file name. We can actually change that inside the header. Header is the things about the document, so we can say, for example, homepage. And now if we double click it, right now it's called homepage. So that's how you kind of use the header, but most of the time you're going to spend inside the body here. And one example is, let's write a paragraph called "This is my first website," and if I save it, double click this, right there we get it. Nice. You can then that's just a paragraph. We can add h1, which is basically kind of I am the header, which is kind of like it's not gonna show because we have to double click this. It kind of makes it big, right? And we will learn all about that later, but basically that is the basics. Now everything we write, and as you may have noticed, the browser reads the document from top to bottom, so it starts from the top all the way to the bottom. So it's gonna render that first, the paragraph in the middle, and then the other H. So if we double click now that's how it renders. So that is gonna be the basics. Now every time I change something here, I don't wanna double click this, so I'm gonna use an extension. And if you downloaded this, it's called Live Server. And it's got over 22 million downloads. So if you downloaded this application, go ahead and download this, and then we can solve that problem once and for all. Now once you download that, if you just right click this and you go to Open Live Server, it's gonna do the exact same thing we're doing before, so nothing changed here. Now I'm gonna do a little thing here, basically make that bigger. Boom. Now when I do a change, let's say I added to another paragraph right here, and let's just call this is another text, and I save that. As soon as I saved it, it automatically shows here, so we don't have to double click it. Yeah, that is the introduction to the HTML. And then in the next video, we're gonna learn about actual tags. So what is H1, what is P, then we're gonna learn about tables and everything associated with that.